Hello everyone and welcome to the first guide I will be doing. For those of you who haven't noticed, for some reason I tend to play a lot of Dota 2 on my channel. And it occurs to me that maybe some people might not know what Dota 2 is, or might want to learn how to play this game that I've been showcasing. So, if you are one of those people, I've created this guide to give you a crash course on what Dota 2 is, and well, how to play it. First things first, you would have to get a Steam account and download Dota 2. It is free to play, and then actually play the game. That is the first step. But assuming you want to know how to win and play the game, I'm going to give you a few more pointers. So, the first thing is the objective of Dota 2. The objective is to destroy the enemy team's Ancient. What is the Ancient? Well, it's in the name. Dota is actually Defense of the Ancients. Your job is to stop your base, essentially, from getting blown up by the enemy team's base. Which, the way you do that is through the usage of heroes. But before we get into who's on the field, let's get to what the field is. So, let me get this right. Sorry, hold on. Here we go. This is a picture of the Dota 2 field. There are two spots where the Ancient sits. The first is the Radiant Ancient, who is right here. The second is the Dire Ancient, who is right over here. Now, you are assigned a team. One of two, either Radiant team or Dire team. It does not matter which team you are, trust me. But your job is to destroy the opposing team's Ancient. Now, what's to stop people from just running up the middle? So you're sitting there, it's like, well, I'm just going to take my people and just run them straight up the middle and take out that person. Well, the way that the game prevents you from doing that is in the game there are 11 towers. If my math is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And of course, for the Radiant, there are also... correction. Excuse me. For the Radiant, there we go. There are also 11 towers. Although, actually, hold on, that Radiant Tower is actually right here. Yeah, once you get obsessed enough with this game, you'll know where they all are, too. Trust me. Now, these towers are meant to protect the bases from you getting into them. And the way that they prevent that is that each of these towers fire large energy bolts that do significant damage to your character. Your character is essentially your avatar in this game, and each team is assigned 5 characters to play with, so there are 10 people involved in every match of Dota 2. Unless there's robots in play, which there are computer-controlled AI for you to practice against and learn the game, and I would suggest that you practice in what's called a bots match until you get good enough to figure out how the game is played so that you will not have an issue. Regardless. These towers do a lot of damage to heroes, and outside of very certain circumstances, you don't want to be hit by the tower. So how do you attack these towers if they all fire giant bolts at you? Well, that's the job of little creatures called creeps. Creeps will slowly walk up each lane in waves, and they'll walk up this lane and they'll keep going that direction. There are 2 sets of creeps. There's the Radiant creeps and the Dire creeps, and they directly oppose each other, walking towards each other in every one of these 3 lanes. Like so. Okay, that was a horrible arrow. Hold on. God, I'm terrible. Anyways, that's somewhat closer, so. Oh my god. I'm so talentless. Oh my god. Anyways, so the creeps will walk towards the enemy base and attempt to destroy the towers by themselves. Creeps cannot really destroy the towers by themselves because each waves of creeps are by their nature equal. So they will always hit at approximately these parts of the map. Actually, hold on, that's incorrect. Those creeps will actually hit about here. Now, there's other techniques known as creep blocking that'll stop creeps from going too far, something called creep pulling that causes the creeps to be fought against other neutral characters in the game, but that's not important. That's a more advanced technique that I may talk about in a later guide, but this is just basics. So, the creeps walk forward. Now, the creeps, I'll go into more detail in a moment. They're my next topic. The driving force behind the creeps that make them matter are the heroes. Usually, there are 5 heroes for each team. Usually you have 1 mid-hero, and then 2 heroes in each lane. Side lane, they're called. And of course, as per usual, there's an opposing force of fighters in each lane as well. Now, there's other strategies you can create. For example, some people like to have 3 characters in 1 lane in order to protect another character for the specific purpose of giving one character extra gold so that they can have more powerful statistics, and use those powered statistics to shove the enemy back towards their ancient and make powerful plays. Other strategies include sending one person to fight neutral monsters in this area of the map, or this area of the map, in order to get stronger while opening up another one of these lanes for solo. Because as I'll talk about creeps in a minute, creeps give a lot of benefits that are not immediately made aware. So, this is basically the map. I'm not sure what else I can tell you without going into excess amount of details about things that you don't need to be concerned about yet. So, we're going to move on to more in-depth discussion of the creeps. So, there are many non-player characters in the game of Dota 2, but we're going to start with the basic ones. First off is the creeps. On the left there is the Radiant Creep, and on the right is the Dire Creep. The creeps have extremely important roles, but are also, because they're so numerous, extremely unimportant. But every time you kill a creep, it will give you gold. Gold is how you buy your items, it's how you make your character more powerful, and as you need your character to be more powerful. However, they are also cannon fodder. You need them to die to the turrets so that you can have a chance to attack the towers. Because if you cannot attack the towers, you can't win the game. However, they also give experience for you to increase your character level. So essentially, if you're the Radiant, you don't really care about the Radiant creeps. All you care about are the Dire creeps, because the Dire creeps are essentially how you increase in level and how you purchase your items, and those are the 2 most important things to heroes. Now we're going to go off the non-player character stint for a little bit to talk about probably the most important character in the game. The heroes. There are, I think as of this moment, 112 heroes in Dota 2. I don't know, a lot. This is a handful of them that were at the beginning of Dota 2's beta phase. This was the ones they first introduced. But there are many, many heroes in this game, and they are divided into 3 subcategories, which are then divided into 2 more subcategories, or rather 2 categories divided into 6 categories. But the main 3 categories are strength, agility, and intelligence. So, I'll be doing specific hero guides in the future, from each of these categories. But unfortunately, again, like with the Dota 2 map, I'll have to wait until I'm talking in those specific guides about how to play those heroes. Because, I mean, it's very difficult to try and explain without some sort of visual accompaniment how heroes impact the game. But there is Dota 2 tutorials that will cover a lot of the basics that I'm currently glazing over right now, and I do suggest you look at those tutorials. I'm just here to explain some of the core elements of the game to you, so if you don't want to go play these tutorials and you just want to watch my videos, you know the general purpose we're trying to achieve. But I do suggest you look at some hero vids once I put them up. I think I'm going to be putting up a video of a Juggernaut game soon that I did extremely well in. Not because I want to show off, but because when a hero does well, it's a lot easier to show off the hero's strengths and why you should bother learning or playing the hero. And even in a complete pub stomp, you make mistakes, and it's very good to show off those mistakes. So, I remembered I've been talking a lot about stats, and stats are the most important thing in Dota 2. They are the primary attributes of your character. MOBAs come from a base of being MMO PvP, which means every MOBA has statistics in some way because of the base, basically their history demands it. Dota, for example, was a Warcraft 3 mod, and the characters, the heroes in that game, had statistics that were similar to statistics from Warcraft, but not exactly. It was a mod, so. The three statistics of Dota 2 are strength, agility, and intelligence. These three attributes are important for every hero, even though some try to dump stat them, because all of them have an influence on your overall character strength. The strength attribute governs your health and health regeneration. If you get hit by something, your health takes damage, and you will die. It's not gonna be fun, but some characters have certain defenses that prevent this from being a huge importance, but as anyone will tell you, having strength is never a bad thing. One of the best items in the game, BKB, also known as Black King Bar, is one of the best items in the game. And even though it has some strength in it, which may not be useful for every hero, they still buy it, and no one complains about the strength component, because having strength is always good. Next up is agility. Agility governs attack speed and armor. Attack speed is generally not important if you're a mage or an initiator or a support of some kind. These are all roles that heroes can play, which I will explain more in probably a more heroes-based video. But it is the most important for right-click carries. I guess I'll have to talk about that again in a hero video. It also governs your armor, which is your resistance to physical damage, which is the type of damage that towers deal, and also the type of damage that enemy heroes attacking you deal. But it does not protect you against spells. Next up is intelligence, which governs your mana and your mana regeneration. This is an important statistic for everyone who needs to cast spells, which is 90% of the people in Dota 2. There's a few heroes that don't really care about intelligence because they don't have that much intelligence to begin with, and they don't have very expensive spells. A hero like this would be Huskar, or Troll Warlord. They would like to have intelligence because it's nice to make sure that they can cast their spells, but it's not vital to the character. So, I've listed some examples of each of the heroes from these categories. I've tried to keep it to characters that are generally easier to learn and to play, and I would suggest that you practice or look at these heroes that I've listed here if you're looking at starting a type of hero. Specifically, I do suggest learning Axe from Strength. He's a lot of fun to play, and you can do extremely well with him and push forward very easily. And from the agility area, I would suggest Clinks the most. And then from the intelligence area, I like Lena a lot. But Lich, Warlock, and Crystal Maiden are all amazing in their own ways. So, let me see. What else do I want to talk about with you guys? Oh, the final thing. Primary attributes have one additional caveat, I guess the word. I don't know. Not caveat. Addition. Axe is a strength hero, so he gains health and health regen from strength, attack speed, armor, etc., etc. He gains all 6 of these stats whenever he increases any of these attributes, but he holds the second benefit of gaining strength whenever gaining damage whenever he increases his strength. This holds true for every strength hero. Next is agility. Every agility hero gains damage when agility is increased. Do you see where this is going? I'm not gonna bother. Every intelligence hero gains damage whenever they increase their intelligence. This increase is normally not, does not affect spells. It involves your physical damage output, which is why most of the game's carries come from the agility area, because agility governs their attack speed and their damage, which increases their DPS a lot faster than other classes. Which is specifically why they're amazing. But well, which stat is most important is probably most determined by which hero you're playing. If you are playing Axe, your most important statistics are going to be your strength and your intelligence. Your strength will be important because Axe's skill set and spells and abilities all revolve around him being in the middle of a fight, taking a lot of damage, and casting a lot of spells. So he needs strength and intelligence in order to be able to pull these things off. For Anti-Mage, his spells don't really cost that much mana, and he has a very powerful escape mechanism. So really, he doesn't have to worry about strength or intelligence, and he can focus on getting a lot of agility if he wants to get his statistics up. And then Crystal Maiden has a lot of mana regeneration and a pretty good intelligence growth, so she doesn't have to worry too much about intelligence. However, she has the worst strength, or is tied for the worst with a lot of heroes, so really she needs to boost her strength stat to survive. But if she's got a good team, then she doesn't need to worry about that. It's a whole nother can of worms that I look forward to opening with you, but I probably will not open that can of worms just yet. So, that's the basics of the game. There's the map, where you try to destroy the Ancient. There's the heroes, which you try to use to attack the towers with, and there are the creeps that give you gold and experience to help you achieve that goal. So, that's the basics of Dota 2. If you are interested in Dota, I do suggest downloading it and playing a tutorial, because the tutorials will explain all of this far better than I will. I actually, even though I knew how to play the game, I still played the tutorials, because the tutorials tell you a lot about the game that you might not know. So, I will be recording I think I will record at least one hero guide, and I will upload it alongside this video. And in that hero guide, I will talk a lot about specific gameplay and decisions, and I might come at you a little bit too fast, but I think that it'll be some good information if you're planning on learning to play Dota 2. So, Thank you for watching. I know this was kind of scatterbrained. I don't really have a paper in front of me. I should probably in the future have a game plan for when I start recording this, but regardless, I hope you liked it. If you didn't like it anyways, because I like having likes. Comment if there's anything you want me to expand upon in future guides, and subscribe so you can see when that future guide comes out. Thanks for watching, guys.